November 7, 2018. Paradise, California. The town is living on a powder keg. The drought has lasted more than 200 days. School bus driver Kevin Mackay starts his day as usual, picking up the children in the morning and taking them home in the evening. But behind the routine lies personal drama. After his divorce, he has a strained relationship with his son, debts for his father's medical treatment that he can no longer pay, and an old sick dog that will have to be put down. The next day, tragedy strikes him suddenly. The wind in a worn-out power line causes a spark that ignites a fire. The dry ground eagerly absorbs it, and the flames spread at hurricane speed. Firefighters try to locate the source, but their equipment gets stuck on mountain roads, and planes are unable to cope due to the wind. It becomes clear that this is no ordinary fire, but a natural disaster threatening the entire city. While the emergency response team discusses a plan of action, Kevin continues his shift. He thinks about his son, decides to stop by his house, and even turns the bus around in the middle of the road. But at that moment, the dispatcher receives an alarming message. There are 23 children left at Panderos Elementary School who need to be evacuated urgently. All the drivers are busy, and there is no choice. He is the one who responds to the call. Teacher Mary Ludwig meets the children at school. From the windows, you can already see the fire creeping down from the mountains towards the city. She and her colleagues decide to let the children leave class so that their parents can pick them up. But the parents are still not there, and the smoke is getting thicker. At that moment, Kevin's bus pulls up to the school. He honks his horn, urging the passengers to get on, but Mary is in no hurry. She understands that panic can be as dangerous as the fire itself. However, the driver insists. If we don't leave now, the traffic jams and chaos on the roads will leave us no chance. Thus begins their desperate race against time, where the school bus becomes the last hope of salvation for the teacher and 22 children trapped in the inferno. When Mary picked up the children from school, it seemed that there was still plenty of time. But as soon as they got on the bus, everything changed. The parents only managed to pick up one girl, and 22 children remained on the bus. Kevin tells Mary to go with them. "I won't be able to keep track of everyone at the meeting point." The teacher agrees. There is no choice. The roads are already blocked. People are panicking, abandoning their cars in the middle of the highway, some running on foot. Kevin realizes that they won't be able to get out via the main road. He turns around and looks for detours. At that moment, communication with the dispatch center is lost, and he is unaware of the worst. Their meeting place is no longer safe. The flames are spreading too fast, and the radio is silent. Darkness descends on the city. Thick smoke turns day into night. The roads are jammed. Chaos reigns everywhere. Kevin hands the wheel to Mary and goes to negotiate with the dispatcher. At first, he won't let them through. The road must be cleared for fire trucks. But when he sees that there are children on the bus, he allows them to follow the fire truck. When they reach the agreed-upon location, they are disappointed to find that the area is empty and already starting to burn. They cannot stay here. Mary suggests going to Chico, a neighboring town where the main evacuation center is located. The bus sets off again, maneuvering through smoke and ash. Outside the windows, power lines are burning, and sparks are falling directly onto the road. But Kevin holds the wheel confidently, and even manages to drive through a fence to shorten the route. The situation on the highway is no better. There is a traffic jam of dozens of cars. People are panicking, and some are already resorting to looting. Several armed men try to break into the bus, but Kevin manages to drive it away, squeezing between the cars. He tries to contact the dispatcher by radio. "I'm heading to Chico, but I don't know where I can get through." Meanwhile, the situation on the bus is getting worse. It's hot. The children are thirsty, and the air conditioning had to be turned off because smoke was coming into the bus along with the air. One of the girls is feeling sick. Mary decides to get water at any cost. The bus stops at a building. She runs to look for a tap, but there is no water there. Then the teacher heads for the trailer, breaks a window, and finds several bottles. Suddenly there is a loud explosion. A propane tank explodes. The flash illuminates everything around, and the children scream in horror. But Mary returns with water. This time, the bus continues on its way. They have regained their strength. Kevin starts the engine again. Flames rage around him, but he turns the bus as if he were steering a light boat in the middle of a fiery ocean, not a cumbersome vehicle. Every turn of the steering wheel is risky. Sometimes the wheels slide toward the cliff. Sometimes the flames almost lick the windows. Meanwhile, dispatcher Ruby is forced to explain to the parents that contact with the bus has been lost. But she repeats, "Trust him. I believe he will get them there alive." The situation at headquarters is no less tense than on the roads. Fire Chief Martinos receives a grim report. Paradise is engulfed in flames, and it is impossible to save the city. A choice must be made. Either continue the hopeless struggle or focus efforts on evacuating people. The decision is difficult but obvious. The city will be left to the mercy of the fire. At a press conference, Martinos says bluntly, "We are not fighting for buildings. We are fighting for lives." Meanwhile, the bus encounters another obstacle. A wall of fire blocks the road ahead. Pedestrians walking toward them warn Kevin that they cannot go any further. But it is impossible to turn around in such a narrow space. This means that the children will have to pass through the ring of fire. Kevin gets out to assess the situation. From the hill, he sees a terrifying picture. They are surrounded by flames on all sides. Returning to the bus, he tells Mary honestly, "There's nowhere to go. All we can do is wait and hope." The adults try to help the children as best they can. Kevin makes homemade filters out of t-shirts and water to make it easier for them to breathe. Mary calms the little ones, tells them stories, and promises that everything will end well. But inside, her despair is growing. At one point, she even thinks it would be better if the children just fell asleep from the smoke than cried bitterly when the flames reached the bus. To distract them and themselves, the adults share personal stories. Mary admits that she has only left her hometown of Paradise once. Kevin talks about a quarrel with his father when he was young. He left home without talking to him before he died. Now he is afraid of repeating the same mistake with his son. Their voices sound regretful, as if they are already saying goodbye to life. But fate gives them a chance. The flames reach the bus, and instead of despair, the adults are filled with determination. They grab fire extinguishers and put out the fire near the wheels. Suddenly, Kevin notices a change. A fresh wind is blowing through the smoke. There's a way out, he realizes. He returns to the cab with a bold plan. They must drive straight through the wall of fire. There is no other way out. The bus roars its engine and rushes forward. The metal box throws itself into the hellish flames as if into a final battle. The flames engulf it on all sides. The interior heats up. The windows shake. It seems that in a moment it will all be over. But Kevin presses the gas pedal, not letting go of the steering wheel. This is no longer just an escape, but a desperate struggle between man and nature, with the lives of 22 children at stake. On the motorway engulfed in flames, Kevin presses the gas pedal to the floor. In the bus, the children cling to their seats and the adults hold their breath. Around them is a solid wall of smoke and fire. He drives blindly, not thinking that at any moment the bus could crash into something. And suddenly a miracle happens. The gray fiery curtain breaks like a theater curtain, and sunlight hits his eyes. Real, pure, bright. Proof that hell is behind them. The bus rushes to Chico, the evacuation point, where parents are already waiting. People run out to meet them, and the door swings open. The children, dirty, frightened, but alive, run out and throw themselves into the arms of their loved ones. The crowd greets the bus with applause. Teacher Mary loudly thanks Kevin for his courage and for saving them. But the driver himself is not looking for glory. He quietly goes to the registration desk to find out if his mother and son have arrived. Their names are not on the lists. While searching, he meets his mother, who was brought by a neighbor. The woman tells him that Kevin's son, Sean, has been taken by his ex-wife. She adds that perhaps the boy will be better off with her. These words hit Kevin like a blow, but he just nods silently. When the fire dies down, he returns to where his house once stood. Now there are only piles of ashes and charred beams. But among the ruins, Kevin finds a photograph that miraculously survived. Him and Sean, still happy together. And at that very moment, his ex-wife's car pulls up. Sean gets out. He silently approaches his father and hugs him tightly. This gesture speaks louder than words. They are together again, despite everything. The film ends with a note. Kevin stays in Chico and starts working as a teacher. Mary, who survived that terrible day with him, fulfills her dream. She leaves to travel. And the reality sounds even scarier than in the film. The 2018 fire was the deadliest in California's history. More than 13,000 homes were destroyed, and 85 people died. The energy company was found guilty on 84 counts of involuntary manslaughter. It admitted its guilt and paid $13.5 billion in compensation.